Hello, welcome to our Steinberg Halion 6 video tutorial series. If we go over to the Edit tab in this middle pane, this is the heart of the synthesis engine. This is where we do a lot of our sound editing. You go down to the program table down here, right click, delete, throw it away. Let's start from scratch. So now we have a completely empty synth. Now when I press keys on the keyboard, I get no sound. And you can see that the slot rack is empty. Now, in order for you to hear sound out of the synth, you need a program in your slot rack. You can have up to 64 programs in the slot rack. Here are our programs. You can have up to 128 of them. And if we drag that into the slot, we now have a default program. Still no sound, because we've not told it what sound modules to use to make any sound. The thing that's actually going to make the sound is the zone. And here we create a new zone. There are 5 different types of zone in Halion 6, and today we're going to pick the synth zone. And you can see that it's put it inside the layer, which is then inside the program. But today I want to deal with these buttons up here. These are called section buttons, and if you can learn and figure out how sections work inside your editor, your life will be a lot easier. So first things first, there's a little button over here called show all sections / show first section. I'm going to click that, and now things got a little bit less overwhelming. We have less data in this window to look at, because all we can see now is this section here, the voice control section, and these options are allow us to control the voices in the synth. We're not dealing with any functionality today, just the config. If I click this next button along, show pitch section, bang, then we've got an oscillator section, filter, amplifier, envelope, LFO, step modulator, and modulator matrix. Like I say, there's a lot to bite, so I'm really breaking it down into small chunks. If you want to see multiple sections simultaneously, you can. To the right of each button, there's this little lock symbol, lock voice control section, lock pitch section, lock oscillator section. So now there's your voice control, here's your pitch, here's your oscillator. So we've got all those 3 sections open. We can lock or unlock any sections that we want. They don't have to be continuous. So now we've just added the LFO section to the bottom of our view. We can then temporarily introduce one extra window. So all of the locked windows will always be visible. But if I also want to temporarily see the amplifier section, I click the button and now I can see it. As soon as I click somewhere else, let's say the envelope section, the amplifier section is going to disappear. Watch. Okay, all of the other locked sections are still open. So you get one unlocked section at any given time, and all of the locked sections. By clicking this button over to the left, we throw all of the locks away and display the leftmost available section. So let's go through that again. I'm going to pick these 3 sections in the middle, click the show all sections button, and now the leftmost of the previous view is the one that's retained. One final time. So it's going to keep the oscillator section this time. And there we are. And now if I single click anywhere, that's the only window we can see. If I lock any of them, they get added to the views, and then we get to see the additional single click. It's worth spending 10 to 15 minutes clicking these buttons a lot. Really get into your brain how these toggle buttons work, because they are a bit weird, but once you get the hang of it, it's really, really intuitive. It's fantastic, but complex to learn. And 10 or 15 minutes will get it under your fingers, and then you're done. And this is the way to go about the edit page, because otherwise it can be overwhelming. There's so much information in here that if you're just scrolling past it all the time, it's really easy to miss what you're actually trying to find. One final thing to mention is that if you've got multiple screens and you click something, it always scrolls the section into view to the minimum possible extent. So for instance, if I want to see the filter section, because there are no locked sections to the right of it, it's basically going to end up at the bottom of the window, and we'll get to see it in full view at the bottom of the screen. Let's see. There it is. There's the filter. If I now want to see the oscillator section, and you can just see it peeking up here, it will scroll enough to allow us to see the oscillator section, so that will now be at the top of the view. And there you see. And similarly with the pitch section, that scrolls into view. So yeah, the scroll work always just scrolls enough for you to see that section and no more. And if we go the opposite direction, it will just scroll it into view, and then we'll be able to see it. Click on any individual page, that page is fully visible immediately, and then throw them all away again. One final feature with the show all button is to press it again. Turns everything on. So it's basically a toggle button between activating and selecting only the leftmost button of the currently visible set, or show everything. So now when I click this button, we'll just see the pitch section. When I click it again, everything will be engaged. And now, because everything was engaged, when I clicked it again, the leftmost section was voice control. Hope you found that useful. Thanks very much for watching, and hope to see you next time.